Kent Bikes. They make some of our favorite budget bikes, but they also have some direct-to-consumer models. Today we're looking at one of those, built to compete with brands like Guardian, except at least in this case, it's a super special deal with a super coupon code that's going to allow you to be able to pick one of these up for under $220. I've reviewed plenty of budget bikes in that price range, and this is definitely not equipped like one of those, but first let's define the exact price we're working with here. For that, I'm going to head over to the website where this bike can be purchased, mendombikes.com. If you watch this channel, you'll know for a year I've featured some bikes, epic deals through this site, and Mendom Bikes, it's backed by Kent Bikes, so 100% legit. There's been a running 5% coupon code you can use on this site, KevCentral, that covers anything here except for the bike we're reviewing today. There's a special deal, the special coupon code. It's going to make the already discounted $269.99 even better, and look at this, the normal price for this bike. This is built to compete on a direct-to-consumer model, not big box stuff. So that $269.99 is amazing. Also amazing, 3 color options. Black, silver, and blue. I really do like that silver. The blue looks good too. Well, so does the black. That's what I'm going to stick with because that's what I'm reviewing today. Now this is a kid's bike, so I'm presenting this to you as a parent shopping for a bike for your kid fitment-wise. 4 feet 5 inches to 5 feet 4 inches. Let's get to some deal stuff here. Add it to the cart. Well, first, pre-deal things, information to know. Automatically, there's going to be $31 extra added on because of shipping insurance. That bumps the price up to over $300, but that is optional. You just toggle it off there and it goes down to the $269.99. I'll let you make your own decisions on if you need insurance or not. For the purposes of this video, I'm going very budget here. I'm going to stick with that $269.99, no shipping insurance, but this is where it gets really good. Discount code, I have a special one for you, 20% off, KEVDIVIDE, KEVDIVIDE. Apply it and look at that. The price drops down to $216. And at Mendom Bikes, there's free standard shipping on all orders. $216. Now, your mileage may vary with tax, but KEVDIVIDE knocking 20% off to get that low price. Well, you can see how this, a direct-to-consumer bike, built to compete with bikes that have similar specs but cost $100, $150 more. This is a big deal. So let's start out with the component rundown and tell you what you're going to get for $216. Starting up top at the bars, these are alloy bars, 620 millimeters wide diameter, 31.8. And again, note, these are alloy components, not steel. They're capped with rubber grips. There's a full grip on the left, a half grip on the right, and that's a half grip because of this twist shifter, a micro shift twist shifter. There's a total of 1 shifter because this is an 8-speed, more bulletproof, less prone for adjustment needs, a good thing. $216 normally gets plastic brake levers. Nope, these are alloy. Now they do control rim brakes, which every other bike I looked at from the Divide's competitors also have, but these aren't generic, they're ProMax, a brand I've seen on bike shop level kids bikes. Moving down to the head tube, this is a straight steer. It matches the tube's frames, nice and round. The head tube badging Kent. Painted or at least clear coated over, simple and classy. The fork has a fender mount and, like the frame, is aluminum. Sleek arm blades running down to the front, quick release. A big deal because some of those competing bikes that cost over $150 more, most of those have bolt-on wheels. Another plus for this Divide, we've already seen a few things that would up-tier it, at least pricing-wise, versus some competitors. Now there are a couple of budget components that I see. Number one is these tires. I call these the Killin' brand with the Fighting Poodle. If you get that reference, you've been around here for a while. The sizing is 26 by 2.125. 26-inch tires, one of my old favorites, and they just look good on this bike. Before we move on, one more note on these wheels and another mention of that front quick release. It's worth a second mention, but now let's talk about hubs for a second because these aren't generic, they have a brand. One that I'm not familiar with, aside from that center logo looks familiar, 2112, make from that what you can, but my research tells me that these are not generic. And I was recently criticized for never mentioning the spoke material. These are stainless steel. And of course, the double wall alloy rims have a rim brake surface for those ProMax brakes. And those stainless steel spokes, they take up about a quarter of them with these huge reflectors. Drivetrain, it kicks off where your kickers go. The pedals, polymer with built-in reflectors, and the best attempt at mimicking mountain bike pedal pegs. Just in plastic. Those are connected to alloy crank arms. The length, I don't normally get to say this much, 152 millimeters. Those run through this single chainring with this nice guard included. The chainring tooth count 32 tooth. And all of that is connected through the bottom bracket, the square taper bottom bracket. So fix 32 up front, let's work our way to the back and see what we're working with here gearing option wise. We know it's 8 speeds. And selecting between those 8 speeds is a Micro Shift 26 derailleur. The very same model I've seen on some entry level mountain bikes. Budget mountain bikes, but it will get the job done here. And I don't normally like derailleur cages, but I think on this bike, something like this might come in handy because kids tend to drop bikes on the side. So it's nice to have, and it can be removed. For the rear gearing, of course 8 speeds, I've mentioned that a couple of times, via a wait for it, no freewheel, that is a free hub, and mounted to it is of course a cassette, an 8-speed cassette, 11 to 32 tooth. There's also a replaceable derailleur hanger, and just like the front, the rear wheel a quick release. That's a big deal. And there are also mount points for front and rear racks, though note that derailleur guard takes up 2 of them, so you'd have to take that off if you want to put a rear rack on. And we haven't even talked about this frame yet. $216 would almost always guarantee a steel frame. Not for the Divide. This is an aluminum frame. I measured it at 13 inches. The welds look good, the finish looks good, clear coated graphics, and of course those 3 color options. External cable routing, at least in this case, is a good thing because of easy maintenance down the road. And if your kid isn't the type that just tosses a bike on its side, there is an included kickstand. And here's something that's not always a guarantee on bikes with round down tubes. Bottle cage mounts. This frame is kind of a throwback with the round tubes, but it's also very modern with that sleek angle down to the top tube from the head tube all the way back to the rear hub. Along with the fork and the handlebars and the frame and the crank arms and all the other aluminum alloy components, the seat post is aluminum. It grabs onto a sleek-ish Kent branded saddle with a nice 1-bolt clamp. And this is it at peak extension. It's good. It'll go right up to that 5 foot 4 inch, possibly an inch or 2 above that ride fitment, and all the way down to 4 feet 5 inches. Quick release clamp also for that seat post. Also, I want to add in here that I did eventually notice that I filmed these shots without that brake cable boot seated to minimize viewer eyelid twitching. I went back and filmed those with it correctly situated on both the front and the rear brakes. I hope this helps ease your day. Not bad, right? This is a very competitive bike with brands like Guardian, the equivalent offerings, though with that coupon code KEVDIVIDE, it's only $216. Now, I always grade based on a curve with price, and I had to dig for something negative at $216 and came up with this. That was broke out of the box. So maybe that, and then those Killen brand tires. I mean, I guess you could complain about those. And I was talking about reflectors. Look at these. Aerodynamic. If the bike's going to have 2 red eyes back here, it might as well make them look cool. And that, my friends, is what makes up the Divide top to bottom. But how does this ride? Well, for me, it's somewhat knees to elbow since I'm 5 foot 10 inches, but I did take it on a 4-block journey, down one hill, up another, and some dodging and weaving on the flats. Out of the box, a very smooth rolling bike, and I didn't even have to adjust the shifter. It works its way through all 8 gears smoothly and easily. The rim brakes, some people prefer rim brakes, and these work quite well, stopping on demand as rapidly or as smoothly as I need. Weight. Kids don't want a 40-pound tank. This bike weighs 22 pounds. And there's one other good thing about this bike, and I literally mean this bike, the one you're seeing. I limited ride time so that these tires would be in new condition when I turn this bike over to a local Christmas charity on behalf of Kent Bikes. Classy move, Kent. If you decide to pick one of these bikes up for your child or for someone, note that they come boxed and they need assembly. It's not difficult in my opinion, and they even include the tools needed to get it put together. They're in the blue bag along with the quick release skewer for the front wheel. I have a time lapse me assembling this if that'll help out. I'll put it up on my members section. If you aren't a channel member and you need it, don't worry, I can post it somewhere else for you. It's pretty easy, in my opinion, super simple assembly, and that's the Kent Divide. $216 with the coupon code KEVDIVIDE while supplies last, and or through the end of the year, I guess whichever comes first. Have you been shopping for a gift? A bike like this, a direct-to-consumer model like Guardian or another competing brand? If so, what do you think about this Divide, especially for this low price? Let me hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and happy shopping.